We are almost there, and we heard from Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham today. Also, TJ Edwards and Rome Odunze. Big show coming your way. CHGO Bears starts right now. We are almost there. Mark Carman, welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast remote edition today because Carmen and I were just at Halas Hall. We heard from Ryan Poles, Ian Cunningham, TJ Edwards, Rome Odunze, Ted Albrecht. Who didn't we talk to today with the Brian Piccolo Award? Ted immediately is like taking a left tackle.
All right. I mean, that's what you talked to Ted Albrecht about. I mean, I went right to Northwestern. Apparently, their spring camp's been amazing. Ted does a great job on that broadcast. But that was an interesting day, man. Lot going on. I'm going to follow your lead here, Hoge. But that
we had poems. We had.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean,
since you just brought that up, I want to apologize to you, the CHGO Bears listener. And first of all, not that we didn't have a show yesterday, although a bunch of you reaching out, wondering where we were, that actually felt good. So thank you for missing us. We're here, of course, the rest of the week, Tuesday through Saturday. Yesterday was a big prep day. I wrote a piece. People want to check out my mock draft, which is infallible. It is 100% right. The first 10 picks, you should read that, allchgo.com.
Apparently, it's like the biggest piece of mock draftiness on the internet today, based on reports that we're hearing from Pat Norton. I don't know how you overdid Peter Schrager and Mel Kiper, but your mock draft is apparently what everybody's reading.
I mean, everybody's they're so tired of Schrager. They're so tired of Schefter. You come for Carm and stay for dessert. This is my new motto. But I did go up to Bears personnel, and I was trying to get my way to Ben Johnson to get a copy of the poem, and I didn't get it done. So I apologize for that. I wanted that poem, man.
And like by the text copy?
Yeah, I wanted to be able to read the poem.
Oh, dude, I got you.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. Come on.
I did not. You're burying the lead. I saw you for 30 minutes after the thing. You didn't tell me you had the poem? Okay.
There's secret ways to go about this. I think pretty much the entire Bears beat has it at this point, but we'll share that. It's definitely not our lead today, as much as people might want to hear the poem. Right. We are not starting with that. First of all, we're going to start with this. Come to our draft party. There's still some tickets available, definitely more for Friday than Thursday at this point, but both nights are going to be awesome. We promise. April 24th, 25th. 115 Bourbon Street. Look, if you're into like the bigger, more massive celebration, come Thursday night, all you can eat and drink. If you want to have maybe a little bit more access to us and hang out with us and a little bit more of an intimate setting, I love Friday night. So come out Friday as well, 6 to 10 p.m. We're going to be doing our live shows there. Mark Carman's going to let you I don't know. Mark's got a whole list of things that he lets our diehards do. So on top of that, if you're a diehard, you get discounts. So I hope you're a diehard. If you're coming out, you get 20% off the tickets. Good time to knock out both right now. allchgo.com/intro. We have one of our best offers of the year available right now. It's only $3 a month to become a diehard. You get access to all of our content. There's some free stuff on our website. There's plenty of free stuff actually, but the real diehard content is behind a paywall, and that'll include Mock Draft 3.0, which I believe is coming out tomorrow.
Shout out to the deal. Shout out to the people coming out to the party. Shout out to you if you're considering it. And shout out to my guy, Big Apple Bears fan, who's 38 today, and he has requested Hoge the Carmonica. So we will get him at the end of the show. Don't you worry, Big Apple. Happy birthday. We got a special tune for you on the fly.
You definitely made up that guy just to promote your Carmonica. And
Not true. Not true.
Not
He's
not
he's in the Discord. The Discord
Okay.
allows you right to us in the show. It's like Hoge show notes and Big Apple Bears fans show notes. I pay more attention to you, Big Apple Bears fan. Hoge doesn't like that, but
That was 100% true. All of that. All right. So Carm's mock draft is available. He goes the Carm route. He just did 10 picks, just right to the top 10. I love it, and people love it.
Listen, sadly, I started at about 9 a.m. yesterday, and it took me to about 9 at night. I don't know how you all do this writing thing. So it was. I mean, granted, I distracted myself too much along the way, but that thing did not. There was some real effort put in there. Damn it! I just could not. Not to spoil it, but I couldn't do a boring pick at the end. I just couldn't. I'd spent too much time. I wasn't going to go chalk, so I didn't.
All right. Let's dive into what happened at Halas Hall today. There's a lot to get to. So just to kind of set the stage, Brian Piccolo Award. Bears do this every year. They give it to a veteran, give it to a rookie. It's a big ceremony they have at Halas Hall the Tuesday of draft week. And then right after that, we had a chance to talk to Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham. T.J. Edwards and Rome Odunze were the winners of the Piccolo Award. So we got to hear from both of them too. After that award ceremony, we're going to talk about that. There's a little bit of crossover in all this too, but we know what's on everybody's mind. That is the NFL draft, a little bit more than 48 hours away, depending on if you're watching this live or listening to it later. But we are 2 days away. There's a lot to get to. This is the one time a year where Ian Cunningham, the Bears' assistant general manager, talks. There's sort of a personal angle here that I asked on the first question I want to get to eventually. Maybe we'll save that for the next segment. But in terms of what matters for the draft, we're going to start with Ian Cunningham, the assistant general manager. Got asked by Brad Biggs about basically the unpredictability of what could play out here in the first 10 picks. Here is what Ian had to say.
Do you guys have a real sense that things are going to start popping?
It could get wild, Brad. It could get wild. Sit back and watch. I mean, we have no feel right now. We'll see.
Ian, how much do you think where the quarterbacks in this draft kind of fall impacts what you guys could potentially do? Like, what are those conversations like about the quarterbacks and how that impacts 10?
Yeah, you'd like as many quarterbacks to go in front of us as possible, just because, that's not a position we're not going to take a quarterback this year. But yeah, we'll see.
You've been here over 3 years now. You know what matters to the culture of this team, the family, like all of that. How did you witness Ben so authentically buy in so quickly?
That's him. You just hit it. He's authentic and he's genuine. Really good person, super thoughtful, passionate, loves ball, cares deeply about the people that he's around, the players. He does a great job he's super flexible too, just in talking players. We want the same things in terms of the types of people that we're going to bring in the building. And then he's super flexible, makes it our job a lot easier in terms of just giving him talent, and he's going to make it work.
First of all, Carm, I just want to point out that Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham made me feel better today, because when I've been talking on this show or trying to do my mock drafts, or yesterday I was on the score, basically wherever I go, who do you think they're going to take? What's going to happen? I don't know. A couple of years ago, I nailed the Darnell Wright pick. I do not know right now. I don't know if that's going to change in the next 48 hours. This is the most unpredictable draft I can remember. And you heard it from Ian Cunningham there. Like they really don't have a sense right now. Ryan Poles said something similar when he talked. It sounds like some of these phone calls that usually start happening the week of the draft in terms of setting up possible parameters of trades, just so you're not totally flying blind when you're on the clock. Maybe those have started to heat up a little bit. But as of right now, there's not been a single trade of a single first-round pick, which is the latest in the history of the NFL draft, that there has not been a single pick swap in the first round already, which is crazy. And I think they genuinely, Carm, don't know what's going to happen.
Right. I agree. And I think you can start that off with you have the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants at 2 and 3, who both objectively, without a doubt, need their long-term quarterback, but neither of them seem interested in drafting a quarterback. And a lot of people think Mel Kiper thinks Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in the draft, thinks he's going to be a stud, but that opinion is very, very, Mel Kiper probably has it all to himself. So, but now you're starting to hear things like, Cleveland and the Giants are taking calls. Peter Schrager reporting that, or a couple other people too. Okay. And then, for the Bears, are they willing to, as Brian James is putting, in our YouTube chat right now, trade up to number 5 and pick Ashton? Are the Bears willing to do something? What they kind of hinted at today is like, well, what's the cost to that? They're trying to figure all of it out.
100%. And then there's also the idea of trading back if it doesn't work out with the first 9 picks, which is something Ryan Poles addressed. A number of topics here. We're going to fire off a few in a row that Poles took, but it started with the idea of possibly trading back from the 10th pick.
You say you think there's going to be a lot more movement. There's kind of this idea out there now that teams in the top 10 might have a little bit harder time trading back. Do you see it that way or the opposite?
Potentially. There's a lot of phone calls going on right now, so it's hard to tell today. But I think as we get closer, it'll start to show us up.
With 2 days to go, how large is the pool of players you're looking at right now for pick 10?
Yeah, there's a large pool of very good football players, and then I think you can do some different things to get more players that are going to be able to come in and help your team quickly.
Ryan, as it relates to draft preparation, how do you view Darnell Wright? Do you see him exclusively on the right side, or are you open-minded to shift him to the left if something materializes that way?
Yeah, I think that's a conversation. We'll see how everything goes. He clearly has the ability to play left and right. We saw that in college. That was part of the value in taking Darnell. So if he had to play left, then he can play left. And obviously, I think we're all excited about his stuff.
So there's a reason why I wanted to leave in those first 2 answers before we got to what was basically the headline there, that he's open to the idea of Darnell Wright playing left tackle, which on its surface would be major, a major thing to say. But I don't know if you happen to take note of the body language for those watching on YouTube.
I did.
On the first 2 answers. And basically what he said in those first 2 answers, which was nothing, which is why I wanted to play that, because it goes back to, I love this pre-draft press conference. I think they're all required to do one across the league, and they do them every year, and they can't really say anything. You could almost tell Ryan was getting squirmy there with Brad asking, how many players are you considering at 10?
One.
Now, in past years, so I don't remember if it was Pace or Polls, but they've actually been about 7 or whatever. They actually throw out a number, which is also kind of the point too. You could throw out a number or not throw out a number. It doesn't really give anything away. So that leads us to the Darnell Wright thing, Carm. My point is, great answer to keep people guessing on draft night. My guess is they would prefer to not move Darnell Wright to left tackle. Maybe they're open to it if they look at Armand Membu as right tackle only and a future Hall of Famer, and maybe that's the way to get the best 5 on the line. But my guess is they don't really want to mess with that. But why say that 2 days before the draft? Keep these teams guessing.
Yeah, that one was super interesting because, okay, if you're willing to do that, is that sort of the insurance policy that you have at left tackle? If Braxton can't get healthy and Karan is not ready to go, that's one way to look at it. He also said, first of all, there was the smirk as to how many players. And I thought that smirk told a ton. To me, that was he knows exactly who the hell he wants at 10, and he's not telling you, and it's pretty damn narrow, Brad, but I'm not going to say that. And then he went with, there's a lot of guys, Brad. Also, Brad was amazing today with his getting wild things out of both Poles and Cunningham. But he also said, help our team quickly. left tackle with those guys there, that's not necessarily help your team quickly if you want to go into it. That sounds more like a weapon, like, I don't know, Ashton Genty, Tyler Warren. Are you like, what do you mean by quickly there, Ryan? I thought that word was pretty interesting.
Well, an instant starter, regardless of the position. I don't think it necessarily means weapon, but even if you go left tackle, somebody who could start right away week 1.
Okay, but if you're taking a left tackle, are you then saying that Braxton and are you just kicking them to the curb because this guy's going to help them quickly at left tackle?
Carm, I got news for you. If they take a left tackle in the top 10, that guy's starting very quickly. That's how it works.
Okay, Matt, we won't get a Matt Eberflus, Caleb Williams, he's starting on day 1. Ben Johnson will say they're competing, and maybe you'll be right.
But whatever they said about Darnell Wright is what they'll say, and then he started right away.
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
It's just too high a draft capital to look at it any other way. All right, we got more coming from these press conferences and a lot more from Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham. But first, Light Beer just got better, introducing Sam Adams American Light. Clean, crisp, super easy to drink. I had a couple over the weekend, in fact. No gimmicks. There's no fluff. Sam Adams American Light, not your average light beer. It's brewed with 100% American-sourced ingredients from local independent farmers. It's light beer that's made right. There's no compromise here. It's tasty because light beer shouldn't feel like a compromise. This is an American classic. So smooth, you'll want to crack open another one. It's always Sam season. Light beer just got better. Grab some Sam Adams American Light, available now at select Chicago retailers. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
And just like your favorite team needs the home field advantage, like the Bears perhaps will be building a new stadium at some point in our lifetimes, your home needs the home floor advantage. That's right. I'm talking about our friends at Empire Today. They can help you get that home floor advantage. They've got flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who don't lay brick and become podcasters, but who focus on flooring every single day of the week. Empire Today, why it's your best bet for a new floor? Well, because they live and they breathe it, as I'm telling you. They're going to be with you every step of the way. They're coming to your home. They're going to sit down with you, and they're going to show you exactly what the colors and the dimensions are going to look with your furniture in your house. We call it the home floor advantage. Get precise measurements taken, all your questions answered, no surprises. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. Some things are better at home. CHGO listeners, you get a $350 discount when you use the promo code CHGO. That's right. You heard it right. $350 discount with the code CHGO. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/CHGO for full details.
All right. Let's keep it rolling here with Ryan Poles. And we also will hear from T.J. Edwards. We kind of got the pre-draft conversation going there. There were some extensions that have happened, and we hadn't heard from TJ Edwards yet since his extension last week. But first, there's kind of a crossover. So there's let's not forget, TJ Edwards was an undrafted free agent. Philadelphia Eagles got a small extension there for a year before he eventually really hit free agency, and the Bears signed him, and now he's getting a second contract with the Chicago Bears. So there's a lot. It's a great story, and it's something to keep in mind draft week. And that's kind of where Ryan Poles went with this, with, the importance of extending TJ Edwards, but what it could also mean for other players who might still be fighting for their jobs or just, fighting to get drafted, whatever it is. Here's Ryan Poles.
And we really want to get into TJ. We talk about the extension too. Really happy to get that done. You look at, right now our guys are going to start preparing for the undrafted free agent process. And when you see a guy like that go from being undrafted, working himself into his first contract, elevating his game again, and getting a second contract, I think that's special. And I think that motivates all the other guys that come in the door. And again, no one's more deserving than he is. Kyler as well. Really happy to get that done. Impact player for us. Ability to make plays all over the field in different phases. He's a guy that I believe is ascending and will continue to grow. And when he gets into this new defense, I think his game can go to the next level as well.
Carmen, I think they feel that about both of these guys. We heard, and I think that, other players too that they've extended. Jalen Johnson and T.J. Edwards also sort of hinted at that today as well. Just the scheme maybe getting a little bit more out of the good players that were already in the scheme.
It's interesting because I know people don't want to look back in time, but let's look back in time for just a second. And one of the things that Matt Eberflus did do well was the defense and knowing how to use guys. So they're flipping on the up here and saying that it's going to be even better with Dennis Allen, that Kyler Gordon's going to touch something that he hasn't touched so far, which as he said it, as an ascending player, I buy that part of it, but I thought it was interesting that he mentioned the scheme. And just with TJ, he's been such a first class dude since the second he got here. They could have just given the Piccolo Award to he didn't have to get it back-to-back years, but it just speaks to the guy that he's been in that locker room. And I loved hearing from him today. I know we're going to get to that, with just how much he still has a chip on his shoulder from the undrafted thing. That's something that he's literally carried with him his entire NFL career, and I truly appreciate that. Anybody who's been counted out and they make it, that's awesome.
Well, and let's hear from T.J. Edwards on why he re-signed with the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, it's something that happened after the season. I think for me, I wanted to be here. I wanted to. I understand kind of what's building here. I understand kind of once Coach Johnson got in here and the pieces we brought in. I really, since I got here a couple years ago, I wanted to stay here and be a part of something that's special. I think I probably know a little better than some, but winning here is different, and I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of the group that did something special. So it was easy for me to try to get something done, and I felt like Ryan was just open and transparent with me the entire time, and so I kind of understood where I standed with him and the team, and he was an easy thing to really want to get done for sure.
Carmen, I've never heard from a player who signed a contract with a team who, said that they didn't want to be here. But that being said, because there's certainly free agent signings where you're like, okay, you got the best offer, so that's why you're here. T.J. Edwards' situation is a little bit different. He could have played this thing out, continued to play really well, and perhaps cashed in even more in the future, perhaps somewhere else. I thought this contract, which basically came out to $10 million a year, it's only a 2-year tack on to the last year of his current deal that he still had on there. So locked in for 3 more years. It sounds like that's really how this thing played out. Hey, we don't want you to go anywhere. Think you're going to be a fit in this defense. He wanted to be here. Didn't sound like it was many roadblocks in this extension talk, and they just hammered something out that seems to be really fair for both sides.
Yeah, it kind of feels like TJ looked at it like, hold on a second, I get another $20 million and I don't have to move. Okay, that's more money than I'm ever going to need in the rest of my life, and that my kids are going to need either. I'm good. I don't have to chase every last dollar, which I know is extremely tempting. And I don't fault anybody for doing that, but it does feel like he did give the Bears a hometown deal. And it's interesting to me that he's saying that I know what it's like to win there. Not as a player, and not really even as a fan. Like, it was great when you were 10. I mean, he was born in 96, but he apparently at 10 years old, he remembers, the Urlacher, Peanut Tillman Bears going to the Super Bowl. But it's just kind of funny to hear. Like, I know how great it is. Okay. Well, a lot of Bears fans are kind of waiting to find that out.
I'll jive with that, though. I mean, I remember the 90s Bulls.
Yeah, okay. It was great.
The ages of what, like 7 and 12 during all that?
Yeah. No, I get it. Those are your formative years. My first sports heartbreak, 1984, the Chicago Cubs. I was 11, not to date myself. I'll forever remember it. But it was just kind of like, I know how great it is to win there. 7 wins?
He knows how great it can be.
I know. I hope he gets to experience it for real.
Yeah,
he deserves it.
I think he does too. So anyway, what's next when it comes to these extensions? I know a lot of people have been asking about Joe Thuney, and I did ask Ryan Poles that on the record today. You make a trade for Joe Thuney. Safe to say you want him here for one more elite, more than 1 year. The quote from him on that was, "Yeah, that's definitely, I would say, one of the priorities moving forward." So there's the official word on Joe Thuney's extension.
Shout out to you, Adam Hoge. That was Hoge reporter at his best, just with the solid. You had a couple of really good questions today, by the way, just to give Hoge some love here. Guy was out there fighting for all of us.
Thank you.
That was good Thuney information.
I did have to kick you out. I did have to kick you out of the front row, which I got chastised for.
It wasn't even a kick out.
It wasn't a kick out. Everybody misread that situation.
Yeah, it wasn't like I'm the big dog here. No. Hoge sat in the front row because he had the camera angles that we're getting right here. It wasn't some like I'm better than you. Don't misread the room there, Emma, or anybody else around there getting these wild ideas about how things work here at CHGO. You do you. We do us. Settle down. But I thought I know we're going to get to it, but I thought your stuff with Cunningham was really strong too.
Yeah, let's get to that now. Thank you. I appreciate that. So just to kind of set this up a little bit, just so everybody remembers, Ian Cunningham, assistant general manager, he has been Ryan Poles' right-hand man throughout this entire time that they've been here together. He's had multiple opportunities, including one GM job actually offered to him that he turned down in Arizona. This year, he was a candidate in both Tennessee and Jacksonville. Ended up not getting either one of them. But one of the things I thought was super interesting was during the coaching search process, when they interviewed all of those candidates and eventually landed on Ben Johnson, Ian Cunningham, as Ryan Poles' right-hand man, actually was not a big part of that. He was not part of the search committee. They allowed him to kind of spend that time working on getting, his own general manager job. And yeah, there's sort of this awkwardness of information sharing too, because if he's leaving, you don't necessarily want him to get all this intel from all these other coaching candidates, right? So I think awkward's a really good word. And that's exactly how he explained it. Cause I asked him, what was that time period like? And he said, it was awkward.
Grateful for Kevin and George and Ryan for their belief in me, for allowing me that time. But also at the same time, I felt in limbo, right? Like I wanted to be a part of this process. It was just a weird time. Wanted to put my best foot forward. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in Tennessee. And as soon as that was done, got back in, started watching all the videos of the coaching interviews, and got back in late with Ben and was able to be a part of that process. Glad we were able to get him on board, and then led our free agent meetings. And literally when free agent meetings ended, Jacksonville came, and then it was back into this weird position again. So being in and out of those situations, it's tough because you feel a certain way. All that you devote your time here. You want to help this crew, and you also have your own goals and aspirations. So you feel a little bit weird, but again, thankful for those opportunities, grateful for those opportunities. But when it didn't work out, not going to lie, it hurt. Not immune to that. But you got to pick yourself back up off the mat, shake the cobwebs off, and start swinging again. That's where we're at here. Now my sole focus is this draft and bringing a winner to Chicago.
Love the honesty there. Kind of caught between career ambitions and the job at hand right now. I'm curious your reaction to all that, Carm.
So I find, first of all, his honesty is incredibly refreshing. Because you tried to become a general manager, you interviewed twice and you didn't get it. It's gonna hurt. That sucks. And I also think it's not that easy to jump back right in and be like, all right, I'm back. Thanks for, giving me this opportunity. I didn't want to come back here, but I'm here, so now I'll help you. And that's a lot of trust, by the way, for Poles and company, that Ian can, do that sort, which he seems more than capable of. I do wonder, listening to him, you turned the Arizona job down? You want to be a GM? You're willing to go? I mean, Jacksonville's not exactly the pinnacle of the NFL. You're interviewing there. He's interviewing all over. So I do wonder if he regrets, back in the day, turning it down.
That was a couple of years ago, though. I mean, and it's not exactly, the Cardinals aren't exactly, no offense to our PHNX friends, the model of success in the NFL
I know.
in terms of resources. Remember those NFL PA surveys every year? Not doing so well.
I know, but look, Cardinals right now in a better position than the Bears, or whatever. They were at least last year. A drop, whatever. Same
Steven,
position.
delete that 5 seconds.
Same position, whatever. I don't care. Let's not act like we're at the top of the NFL here in Chicago. I don't know. I'm confused listening to him that he turned it down. Now that being said, that's all. I get it. Water under the bridge. He seems like somebody I'd want in my organization. I thought he was very impressive, big time impressive. I liked him a lot.
Well, and part of the benefit of turning down that job a couple of years ago is you're getting more experience. You've had more drafts to go through. He's leading free agent meetings. I mean, Ryan Poles lets him do a lot. He delegates a lot. So he's getting a lot of good hands-on experience, especially since he's, got that promotion to the actual assistant GM title. So, more experience never hurts anyone. And whenever he does get that opportunity, and I think he will. I mean, look, if the way this is set up, Carm, if the Bears have more success, if they make the playoffs this year, that dude's getting a job.
Listen,
he's getting all these interviews. They went on a 10-game losing streak last year.
Hey, look, I got the world's smallest harmonica for Ian Cunningham. He's fine. He's an assistant GM in the NFL. He's making a lot of money. He's living a great life. I'm not sitting here trying to feel bad for Ian Cunningham in the world that we're living in today. Let's not go too far. But that being said, it's just I'm listening to him like, man, it sounds to me like you're living a Carm life. Like, should have done that back in the day, but I didn't. Oh well.
All right, we still need to hear from Rome Odunze, and since this show has started, I've already come across 2 significant pieces of news regarding the first round of the NFL draft. So I will share that next with you. But first, go check out our friends at Sunnyside. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside is everything you need to elevate your summer. Please, summer, let's go. Let's get this thing on the road. For the love of God. I'm tired of wearing this vest. Let's get outside. And Sunnyside's going to help us get there. They're a one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs. Sunnyside has an expertly curated menu with over 100 strains to choose from, plus easy online ordering and in-store pickup. You can check them out in Wrigleyville, River North, all the way out in the burbs. You can go as far south as Champaign, as far north as South Beloit. Sunnyside is all over. And here's what you're going to do if you want to check them out online. You go to sunnyside.shop. You'll get bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day. Only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
And shout out to our friends at Circa Sportsbook, whatever the sport, the app to bet on. Circa Sports Illinois. It's betting the way it should be. They got the high betting limits, low holds, exceptional customer service. Love the team over there. What's up, Derek Stevens? How are you? Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Bet on buckets tonight. Get some NBA plays going. Spreads, props, futures, in-game. Circa Sports has it. Hey, you can do hockey too. Hockey Hoge. He lives that dream. Fun and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I actually have a hockey problem right now, Carm. I have watched at least one period of every single playoff game that's been played.
So
it's a problem.
Yeah, I got a hockey problem too. Because normally at night, I get control of the TV in Carm household. But girlfriend Jackie, 2-time Division III champion on the hockey ice. NBA playoffs are on. She's like, can you flip over to Edmonton and the Kings?
Hell yes.
Hell no. Hell I did.
Great. Team Jackie on this one.
Yeah.
Did you say no, you didn't do it?
I mean, my thought process was hell no, but of course, anything you want, dear. Absolutely. Let's watch the Kings and the Oilers. Connor McDavid. Hey, listen. It was Connor David Connor. What's his name?
You had it right the first time.
Connor McDavid?
You know who he is. Connor McDavid.
I really don't. I mean, I do, but I really don't.
Okay.
I know he's really good at hockey.
Yes.
There was a sweet one-timer last night. Really good one-timer. Were you watching when the one-timer happened? It was a great one-timer. It was their first goal of the night for the Oilers.
I actually missed that because I said I've watched one period. I've not stayed up to the end of those games. It's been a little late with all this draft prep I'm still trying to do at the same time. But yeah, I was still 2-0 when I turned it off.
Okay. Beauchanton, excellent point. Second TV might be needed for these days. NBA playoffs, I got to tell you, NBA sucked to high heaven all season long. It's a lot better right now.
Well, it always is. Don't get me wrong. I have the NBA playoffs on too. It's just on the third monitor. We got two hockey games going on at the same time.
Yeah, no, okay. Two hockey, double hockey.
We got another one tonight. We got 4 games ready to go.
Okay.
All right. That's not what you're here for. Let me give you this news. A lot of teams having these pre-draft press conferences. A new Titans general manager, Mike Borgonzi, who got that job over Ian Cunningham we were just talking about. I just saw Schefter tweet this out, but it is a video straight from the Tennessee Titans. Borgonzi saying, "We've come to a consensus. We'll pick at number 1 on Thursday night." So, meaning they're not trading Carm.
I understand. There was literally zero smoke about the Titans trading that pick, but okay. All right.
No, not zero. It's been unlikely, but they're either going to stay and pick Cam Ward, or maybe they can be moved off that by trading back. That has been on the table. It might be a small table, but it's been there.
Your prediction, Hoge, Cam Ward makes it as a number 1 overall pick or not?
Let's define makes it a little bit.
Gets a second contract in Tennessee.
That's a great way to define it. I'm going to say yes. But it might be like how Kyler Murray is on his second contract with the Cardinals, and yet there still seems to be sort of this, and I know this from doing the All NFL show last week and talking to the PHNX guys, like, it's not like he's bad by any means. Good quarterback. Are they getting enough out of Kyler Murray? Like, that's always sort of a conversation. There's some interceptions that get thrown at times where you're just like, man, that killed us. I like Cam Ward. We'll talk about this more tomorrow because we're going to do a mock draft. Spoiler alert. He would not be my number 1 overall prospect or even remotely close. He's not on our Bears 100 because we know the Bears aren't going to take a quarterback. More on that in a second. But I'd probably have him in the late teens, 20s overall if I did do a full big board. I also can see why. I can also justify why the Titans are taking him number 1 overall, because it is a quarterback. And if you don't take him there, you're not going to get him because somebody else is going to take him. That's just how it works. So that's kind of my Cam Ward thoughts. There's one other piece of news. You want me to share it?
Yeah, I'll just give you just one little tidbit on your logic here. Since the rookie wage scale was introduced 2011, this is a note out of the Ringer. I mean, you can do your own research on this, but just shout out to the Ringer. That's where I read it. 10 of the 14 first picks have been QBs. Of those players, 5 are currently playing on the team that drafted them. And, of course, that includes the recent 2, which is Caleb and Bryce Young. So the odds on you getting a second contract is negative. It's unlikely. That's how this works. They draft them and they don't work out, is what has happened since 2011, which is interesting.
Right.
Just to kind
of.
Yeah,
Baker didn't get one with his team. We don't have to run through them all, but Kyler did, Trevor Lawrence did, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, it's sort of like these guys are good, but has it been a slam dunk? Not necessarily.
No.
That's kind of how I see the Cam Ward thing going. All right. The other thing I just saw on let's see, this was reported by Nick Harris of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Jerry Jones pre-draft press conference. Quote, "We're looking at 2 things that can happen before or after the draft," Jones said. 2 pretty substantive trades been working on today. That's interesting. Okay. Before or after the draft.
Okay, Jerry.
It tells you that it's not necessarily that's like a player involved.
Well, that part of it, I do wonder. Can we see any player movement along with draft picks in this wild draft that we're dealing with here? Like
It happens.
It does. I mean, I don't know what exactly he's talking about, but like some people are speculating around the Bears that you got new coaching staff, new philosophies, all these things. Could they potentially in a wild draft move somebody out to get more assets to add into the pot this year? I would doubt it, but I suppose you can completely rule it out. And who knows?
Yeah.
A lot of,
They don't happen a lot on draft night with players getting traded, but they do happen every once in a while. All right, let's pick up where we left off. So we mentioned how Piccolo Award was today. For those that maybe aren't familiar, the Bears give this award out annually to one rookie and one veteran who, quote, best exemplify the courage, loyalty, teamwork, dedication, and sense of humor of the late Bears running back Brian Piccolo. Now, T.J. Edwards won this thing last year. He won it again. I don't have the list of winners in front of me. I don't think that's happened since I've been covering the team over the last 15 years. Unless I'm forgetting something, but I really don't think that's happened. So it also speaks to, everything else we were just talking about with T.J. Edwards and his extension and why he's here and why the Bears love him so much. Meanwhile, there was a great moment, though. So Ben Johnson, even though he just got here, was the one to introduce these guys or actually hand the awards to these guys. And let me make sure I get this quote perfect. So Ben Johnson presenting the Piccolo Award to Bears linebacker T.J. Edwards had this incredible line, Carm. He said, "First, I need to thank you, because if you hadn't taken the cheese on that stumble bum play, I don't know if I would have gotten this job."
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that TJ was like, I don't know if he was trying to troll me on that or however he put it, or it was just like, hey there, coach.
Well, he kind of got him back because we had Ben Johnson's poem. So TJ gets up there and he's like, "Great poem. Can't wait to bring that up at a team meeting."
That's good. I'm glad that the linebacker just got paid and that the new head coach are being able to, are already comfortable enough to trade barbs in front of the media. So we're making progress here at Halas Hall. Damn it, good work. By the way, I'm looking at this list of Piccolo Award winners. You don't want this award. Last year was Darnell Wright and T.J. Edwards. Okay, they're both here. 2022, Sanborn and Dave Montgomery. 21. Khalil Herbert and Robert Quinn. 20, Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney. 19, David Montgomery had it, and Nick Williams. 18, Roquan Smith, Akeem Hicks. 17, Tariq Cohn, Benny Cunningham. None of them are here.
That's like, I get what you're saying, but yeah, the whole roster's been turned over like twice during those years that you just brought up.
I know. I got it.
It's not like there were other players that could have won it that are still here.
No, but I mean, look, Jack Sanborn's still playing. Dan Montgomery's still playing. Khalil Herbert's still playing. Robert Quinn, not playing. Having a rough time. Darnell Mooney's still playing.
Yeah. By the way, it's Steven pointing out that Olin Kreutz won it in back-to-back years, 2003, 2004.
That's unfortunate.
Why? That was the last back-to-back.
I'm just not.
Back-to-back winners.
I should be more grateful for Olin. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah. All right. Let's well, should we talk about this poem since it just came up, or do we want to talk Rome Odunze?
We could save the poem. Let's get Rome in here, and then we could poem it up at the end.
Okay. Rome Odunze, speaking with the media, I asked him about Antoine Randall L. We had a chance to meet and talk to Antoine Randall L. last week at Halas Hall, and Randall L. said that Rome Odunze was his number one wide receiver in last year's class, ahead of Marvin Harrison Jr. and ahead of Malik Neighbors. So here's Rome Odunze's reaction to that.
Antoine Randall L. said last week that he had you as his number one wide receiver in last year's draft. Is that something he's relayed to you? And just what have those interactions been like so far with him?
That was my first time hearing that, when he came up here, and that means a lot to me, I had myself number 1 too, so I think that, we're on the same page with that, so that's good though, but, he's been great so far, been learning a lot from him, just got to learn, some different technique standpoints from him the other day, and hopefully, if I can get out of here soon enough, I can go learn some more today, so, get out there on that field, but yeah, it's been awesome. He's a very energetic guy. He reminds me a lot of Jamarcus Shepard, my UW coach. But he has his own style, his own flair. Obviously, he played the game, from Chicago. He has a lot, invested in this organization and, the game as a whole. So, again, another guy I'm looking forward to learning from.
I like that he just wanted to get back out there on the field.
Yeah, I mean, Rome's the most likable dude going. It was a hell of a compliment by Antoine Randall, and I love the confidence that Rome had. But Antoine, Malik Neighbors was the best wide receiver in the draft last year, so you had it wrong. With all due respect, the Bears had it wrong too. I mean, Malik Neighbors played on the Giants last year, and they had no quarterback, and he has 1,200 yards. So I know people are going to get mad at me for saying that, but that dude looks like he's just straight ridiculous. But I just. Rome is going to be, first of all, I think Rome's going to get have a major leap this year. At least I would hope he will, being used better.
You're that confident that when it's all said and done, they should have taken Malik Neighbors.
Talent wise, Neighbors is just is a freak of nature, man. Like that guy. Now, if you're betting on the whole package here. Long term, will Rome get the very most out of his abilities and not be as challenging, perhaps, to handle on a yearly basis?
Same question. Who's more likely to end up with a second contract with the team that drafted them?
Neighbors isn't. I would bet on Neighbors if I had to make that bet right now. That dude he's unbelievable. Now,
I just would point out how many wide receivers get frustrated, want to leave organizations, demand trades, all this type of stuff.
That's true, but the Giants, you get your shit together, New York. You guys are it's a disaster over there.
That's my point.
I understand, well, but that's not.
You might be asking for a trade by August.
Well, sure, but that doesn't mean that you wouldn't rather have him. I mean, if you put him here in this amazing Bears culture that we've developed, but that's fine. All that's fine. Look, they picked Neighbors. The Bears didn't draft up. I wasn't saying draft up. They got Rome Odunze. I think Rome's going to be great. But I'm sure Antoine's going to coach him up phenomenally. But it's just kind of interesting. And Steven's putting in our private chat here about Brian Thomas had a huge year last year too, 1,282 yards and 10 touchdowns, was absolutely crushing it too. So, hey, Rome's going over 1,000 this year, baby.
And by the way, that's relevant because that's the one wide receiver the Bears actually could have taken.
Yeah,
those other guys were off the board.
Yeah,
but Thomas was there. I'm good with Rome. I think last year, for 1,000 different reasons, was. We know those reasons are why the production wasn't necessarily crazy. I don't think Rome Odunze did anything that was concerning at any point in the year to make you feel like it's not going to work out. And I think that Ben Johnson is going to get a lot out of him.
Yeah, and what Ben said about him too, just is the fact that he loves that he's doing whatever he can on any play to make the play successful, blocking, just a great teammate. You got to love that about Rome. Also, by the way, Rome, stay healthy. You're here to catch balls and score touchdowns. I like the fact that he's willing to get dirty and all that, but it does make me slightly nervous too at the same time. Stay healthy, my friend. We need you catching balls, lots of them.
Got to block to get the rock, Carm.
I don't know. Do you? Was Jerry Rice some great blocker? I don't think Jerry Rice did a whole lot of blocking.
Oh, I didn't know the Bears had Jerry Rice on the team.
I mean, did Randy Moss did name any great receiver? Did he do a lot of blocking? Just catch the football. I'm good. Don't. I'm not worried about the blocking. Catch the ball. Let's go.
All right. Hey, just so you know, coming up we got as always every day here on CHGO. We got a lot of awesome coverage across all of our teams. CHGO Blackhawks coming up at 2. Be dialed into all of our coverage all day and of course all week here with the draft. And you maximize all of that when you become a CHGO diehard as well. All right. Now do you want to get to the poem? You're the one who wants to talk about this.
You've no poem thoughts?
I thought it was well written.
Look, being a great coach, Adam Hoge, requires you to have some variety, some ability to surprise your guys, keep them on your toes. And for him to come in to a Brian Piccolo Award and in whatever it is, third month on the job, bust out a poem. I mean, I don't want to call this guy the next Zen master Phil Jackson or whatever, but I like the fact, like, can you imagine Matt Eberflus, Matt Nagy, Mark Trestman, whoever you want to name, having a poem ready and actually having the poem be like, do you have the actual poem?
I can actually picture Mark Trestman having a poem. I don't know why.
Mark Trestman had no poem. He wasn't poeming. There was no Trest poem. All he was going to do was get up there and be weird. This dude got up there and just busted out a poem, and it actually sounded good. I enjoyed that.
You want me to read this?
Yeah, I do. Let's go.
Oh, man. All right, here we go. Here's the poem. By the way,
hold on.
This was...
Let's set the stage. Or just everybody sit back.
You set the stage. I'll read it.
Okay. Just sit back in your seats, close your eyes, and channel your Ben Johnson and listen to Adam Hoge read us a poem here on the CHGO Bears podcast.
And by the way, so everybody knows, this is about Brian Piccolo. It's called More Than a Jersey. He wore the sea upon his chest, not just in games, but in each test. A bear by number, name, and grace, but more than that, a steady face. He wasn't picked in any round or fame. No headlines danced around his name. Yet still he fought, and still he rose. A quiet strength the whole team knows. With courage burning deep and true, he gave his all in all he'd do. Not just in wins, but every day he led with heart in every play. He stood for loyalty and trust, a friend, a guide, both firm and just. He showed that greatness doesn't shout, but lifts others up day in and day out. His life was marked by dedication, a model for each generation. Each practice moment, snap, and stride, he gave the game his soul and pride. When illness came, he met the storm with strength that moved beyond the norm. And though his race was far too brief, he left behind a bold belief that love is real in brotherhood, that fighting back is doing good, that joy and grit can coexist, that every name deserves a list. Today we see his spirit rise in steadfast hands and fearless eyes. And though he's gone, his story grows, a legacy that never slows.
All right, two takeaways at least. You're phenomenal. That was a great read by you. I really enjoyed it. Second of all, that was phenomenal. That's a great poem, dude. That's a great poem. He's a smart guy. I like it.
Can you tell I have two kids at home that I read books to all the time? The timing and that's where that came from, by the way.
We were all Hoge's children right there for a moment. That was amazing.
Thank you. I love it. No, 100%. That is well written.
It really is.
Johnson, you can call him computer geek and football nerd. That man can write poems. I love that.
Yeah, and thank you. And I don't know, isn't he busy right now? But he took the time to sit down, learn who Brian Piccolo was, and write a really nice, heartfelt thing. And Chaz Robertson in the chat, Hoge doing audiobooks. Let's add that to the 7,000 things he does. That was pretty damn good.
Hey, if I get a paycheck from it, I'll do it. I don't know if anybody's writing a book out there and wants me to read it for him.
We know. That was very peaceful. But I
like Bo Shan said, I want to hear a John Fox poem.
Right.
Well, he gave us the story of Gidget the monkey. Don't ever forget that. John Fox left us with that.
That I do not remember, and that's sad for me because I really would have enjoyed Gidget the monkey, and I was around.
I have the whole audio somewhere.
Oh, please, let's bring that back.
We can bring it to a future show. We featured it heavily on Hoge and Johns back in the day.
June 6th, Gidget the monkey. Let's go. That was on a slightly serious note, the Piccolo family these are some really amazing people. His daughter got up there and spoke. She's got 4 kids. And it was touching. And I know they do this every year. And, for those who get to be there, maybe it gets a little bit redundant, but, the daughter's name was, I believe, I don't want to get it wrong. I'm sorry. Tracy.
Yeah,
And Jack
I'm sorry.
was
I should know that off the top of my head too. That's bad.
Tracy was her name, and Jack was the grandson that also spoke. She got very emotional talking about Virginia McCaskey and what Virginia had meant to their family and honoring her dad. That it's still going today. And she had to stop the speech a couple of times. And I thought that was just really beautiful for somebody who lost their dad at a very young age. And here she is, however many years later, with her own son in attendance. And it was a touching scene. And Pat McCaskey, really his relationship with Brian Piccolo and the way he honors him each year, it's a beautiful thing. It was the Bears. It's a tribute to the organization the way they've honored Brian.
Well, and I think that it's well said, Carm. And by the way, Jack did a great job with his speech too.
He did. I saw him on the way out in the parking lot. I just told, hey man, great. That was a great speech. Really super impressive kid.
It's an award that I don't know if it probably doesn't get huge headlines, even in the city beyond just us talking about it every year and covering the press conference, but it means a lot to the organization. It matters a lot to the McCaskey family. And Virginia was a big part of that. And Tracy's right. Virginia, she never missed that ceremony. So that was a very notable and heavy absence. But it was well said by her. And I think, just tying this back to the poem, this is why Ben Johnson took it so seriously. He understood the assignment in presenting those awards to T.J. Edwards and Rome Odunze.
Yeah, well, and that just shows that I don't know. He could have come up with a normal speech. No. I don't know exactly how this went down behind the scenes, but he's like, yeah, I'm going to write a poem, is what I'm guessing. And by the way, for people that, just maybe have forgotten, they're raising money for cancer research through the Brian Piccolo Award, which I think literally, I can confidently say that every single person that is listening to this podcast has been unfortunately touched by cancer in some way. So it's, one of the most worthy causes out there. And, obviously claimed an NFL player's life and they played for the Bears way too young, but endless reaching here, what they're trying to touch. So, okay. Great poem by Ben. I liked it.
That's just new talent we didn't know about.
Yep.
This guy can do everything.
I wrote some great papers back in the day that, Highland Park High School was forever gifted by my brilliance. But I don't think I ever did anything as good as Ben Johnson did right there.
I like to think I'm a pretty decent writer. Poems were never my thing, though. Just
the rhyming and the flow and the whatever, tying it all together. Secret Agent Man's right there. Throw the ball, Justin Fields, or run the ball, Justin Fields. That was a brilliant one. Didn't get as much acclaim as it should have, but it was so good.
What else did you have? I'm forgetting now. Secret Agent Man, that one went platinum.
That was, yeah, and I'm excited about some things around there, but we'll talk off air on that. Soft little harmonic in the background, cheesy gordita crunch. It would have been better. That's true. I should have been doing that while Hoge was reading, but I didn't want to take away from Hoge. That was awesome.
Well, we could do it again if you want to do. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not reading again. All right, we got super chats coming up. Maybe a couple shout outs. Want to get you set for the rest of the week too in what we have coming up. But if you want, let me tell you this: if you want to maximize your week, I'm being serious on this one. Now is the time to be a CHGO diehard. Access to Fran Duffy's draft guide. Even before we had Fran Duffy, this $36 offer we got going on right now would have been worth it. $36 for the whole year. That's your annual pass. That comes out to $3 per month. All of our draft coverage behind the scenes, which once again, we have the Bears 100. But now that Fran's on board, there's a whole lot more information in that Bears 100. And plus you get Fran's draft guide as well. So you want to maximize this week, get all that draft info. Also get 20% off the draft tickets. If you haven't already bought them, come on out on Thursday and Friday night. Our draft parties are unbelievable. We got another huge crowd coming out Thursday. Don't forget about Friday. I love Friday night coming out Friday night too. Bears will have 2 picks. It's going to be great. And with all that said, 3 picks in the top 41, Carm. Tomorrow's show, we're going mock draft. CHGO mock draft. I'm actually sharing this with some of you guys right now, not even just the listeners. Steven, you're making picks. You're in on this thing. And Fran is going to join us to be our draft analyst during the mock draft. He's going to analyze all of Carm's horrible picks. He's going to just crush each and every one of them as we go. So you're not going to want to miss tomorrow's show.
I'm a little confused as we do some bookkeeping on the show. I am going to be in Green Bay tomorrow, am I not?
Great point. Great point. Carm will not be making picks. That'll make it even better.
I'll do them. I'll send them in. I will send them in. How's that?
Actually,
yeah,
you will do that because, Carm's going to Green Bay tomorrow. So hopefully we're going to have some good content to share from that too. Tomorrow's show might be 3 hours.
Yeah,
we're ready for that.
We got draft folks talking. We got massive amount of prep going on here for these interviews that I'm hoping to get tomorrow. So hoping to bring you guys some good stuff. Hoge is sending me up to Green Bay, trusting me to get this done. So I can't let you down or
big assignment for you.
Yeah, I'm doing this for you, but more importantly for you, the CHGO Bears fan listener, just getting you ready for the draft. Emma, our superstar social media stud who's texting me during the show and wondering what time we're leaving. I actually don't know what time we're leaving. I'll figure that out in 5 seconds here because what tomorrow looks like. I got to get Hoge's expertise here, but we'll be up there whenever it's going on. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, remind me when the show's over. I got to send you an email. All right. A little bit of bookkeeping on the show. Before we get out of here, don't worry, Chaz. Carm's coming back for the draft party. He's
I'm
going
back,
up,
baby.
He's going up to Green Bay. We will have Green Bay covered Thursday as well, but Carm will be back for the draft party on Thursday. He's just going up tomorrow for some of the festivities. All right, let's get to super chats. Can you pull Pizzatola's back up there? We can kick off the super chats with Pizzatola, $5. It says, Ho, can you do the audio book of a story I wrote about Carm called Gidget the Monkey? It's a sad tale about a monkey and his harmonica.
Whatever, Pizzatola. You better be coming ready this weekend. I'm bringing you a gift.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This must be a really good comment because I'm in a super chat. RAB556, Carm was gray and strange as... let me start over. All right. I just realized it's a poem. We'll go poem. Carm was gray and strange as hell. His Bears takes always smell. His goofy face can't be unseen. His knowledge on football is as useless as a screen door on a submarine.
Thank you, Rab556, who didn't pay for that, but it was held special because it was just so good.
I almost feel like Steven, it's like a shot from Steven, the fact that he put that up there with it not being a super chat.
It was just so good. I couldn't help it.
No, you do something that brilliant. You absolutely do not have to pay to get on the show. Thank you. Okay, but this guy's Ben Harrington. Never got my die-out shout-out from Carm. Not terribly upset about it. Yes, you are, Ben Harrington, but you're trying to be the good guy, which is one of the reasons why we like you, Ben Harrington. But you know what I love about Ben Harrington?
What do you love, Carm?
Ben Harrington, he'll drive in the left lane, but you come up behind Ben Harrington and you want to go 90. Ben Harrington's not the guy that's just going to get competitive. He'll step aside. He'll go middle lane and let you go on by, and then slide back into the left lane and go the rate that Ben Harrington wants to go. Ben's been going at his own pace his entire life, and that's inspirational for me and all of us. Shout out to Ben, and now Ben's a diehard. Thanks, Ben.
Good shout out. Actually, First of all, if anybody wants to submit poems, I will read them on the show going forward. We can make it a new bit. Meanwhile, I saw Bragg's super chat, $2, saying, who remembers the Jamarcus Webb poem? And this is actually a real thing I'd kind of forgotten about. So this goes back to 2012. I love Mike Tice. Mike Tice, offensive coordinator, was not happy with Jamarcus Webb's performance. He said, I know it rained. Did you not go to the game? You went to the game, right? Okay, you saw the same thing I saw. I have trouble sleeping at night until I know that our quarterback is protected. I don't even know what that means. It's weird.
Is that the poem?
No, the poem. So Jamarcus Webb, inspired by his coach's unhappiness, this is from a story from NBC5 back in 2012, by the way. It moved him to poetry from Jamarcus Webb's Twitter. I'm hoping this actually works. Okay. Every morning I wake up and get out of bed while thoughts of preparing to battle dance in my head. No visions of cupcakes and tacos. Just football and being the best left tackle. J-Web Nation, stand strong. I'll conquer this battle like King Kong. I'll protect our quarterback and won't allow any sack. I'm giving my best every day, and there simply isn't anything left to say. Bear down.
That's amazing. We honestly should make Braggs read that when he gets back to the show. I know he's very busy today with important meetings for real, but all right, Jamarcus Webb, let's go.
I don't know if I forgot about that or never realized that. That was during my days covering the team, though, so I don't know.
And then he went to be the worst left tackle of all time per Braggs of the stand. But he was that is not going to apply to Ben Johnson. Damn it, that's different somehow. We're looking for leadership.
Barrelissimo, £5 sterling. Ben writes poems now, but not a haiku like this. Bear Super Bowl, dude. Whatever we do. Hashtag F Green Bay. Hashtag bear down. Yeah, it's close enough to a haiku.
That's right. Thank you, Barrelissimo.
What else we got? We got anti the 6? 199.
I definitely read that anti the sex, but it's clearly anti the 6. I thought we had anti-sex dude out of nowhere.
Don't sleep on a trade up this year.
Hey, we heard the word wild many times today. We've heard how much they love Ashton Genty. What's the price? Who wants to move up?
We should have addressed that earlier. Ashton Genty's name didn't come up, but it sure sounded like Ian Cunningham was talking about Ashton Genty. He was asked about, picking a running back that high. And it was like, well, if he's a really good weapon, we're going to take that player.
Yeah. Look, I'm a big believer in don't believe anything anyone says right now because nobody really knows. If these guys are giving away what they're going to do, that's complete and utterly, that's not what you do if you're a general manager. You're not telling people what you're going to do. However, I do believe with the amount of conversation we've heard about the Bears and Ashton Genty, that the Bears really would like to draft Ashton Genty. So as far as the trade-up goes, if they think it's a reasonable price, I think they'll do it. Like, I don't know what they would consider reasonable, but it wouldn't completely surprise me at all.
All right, Jeffrey Brown, $10. Given the Bears' flexibility at number 10, do you think Poles should prioritize moving up for a blue-chip talent like Ashton Genty or Mason Graham? Shout out to John and Phil, the ultimate bums.
You made it, John and Phil.
You made it. Yeah, we dressed that. I'm more inclined to do it for Genty than Mason Graham, but I think it's somewhere on the table.
The noise on Graham is that he's falling back. So if Genty's gone, and Graham is there, do you think that's their pick? I know we don't know. What's your guess on that? Graham's available. Genty's gone. I give you nothing else. Will Campbell could be there or not be there.
Be hard to pass on Mason Graham there.
You would think, right?
I find it hard to believe they've hired Ben Johnson. They're going to use their first pick on a defensive player. That's the only thing.
That too. It's a factor. You would, I would read my piece. The Carm mock draft, allchgo.com. Let's get a weapon in here, damn it.
Barlissimo, 2 pounds sterling. He adds Jamarcus bad at pass and literary pro. I think I got that. Going for the pass pro.
See, Bragg's bringing up Jamarcus Webb. Earned us 2 more pound sterlings. Good job.
What's the conversion rate on that? All right. We're out of here. Tomorrow should be a fun show. Make sure you tune in. We're going to have a massive show. We're going to have a mock draft. We have, I think, 2 guests joining, including Fran. Carm's going to be up in Green Bay. Could have some interviews with like an Ashton Genty or something like that. So don't go anywhere. Be here tomorrow. We're back at noon. Thanks for shifting your day a little bit to be here at 1 p.m. Central with us today. But we're back to noon tomorrow. Yes, Carm.
Well, I wanted to give Big Apple Bears fan on his 38th birthday a goodbye today. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Big Apple Bears fan. He's a diehard in the Discord. Happy birthday to you. Big Apple, you're the... Oh, yes, the Hoge lady.
I should know how to play Happy Birthday this thing, and I don't.
I mean, in my new setup, which, you know, we're moving here in a little bit, I might find my way into the piano, and I'm going to have like an actual office.
You're not playing the piano.
I can bust out a 8 years on the piano there, Adam Hoge. Hated every minute of it. 8 years.
You're finally retiring from tennis.
No. Although it's 3 months in and I can't run it, I might be retired. I'm not retired.
I mean, I don't think it's your decision, but you're facing reality, and you're gonna go to the piano and play a sad song.
No, Illinois Bone and Joint, you're gonna get me healthy, and I demand it. And I'm never gonna leave your office until I can run again. So you better figure it out, because
they'll figure it out then. Bring that harmonica over to the office. They'll be we're gonna fix it.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring the harmonica and all my other I'm gonna be as annoying as possible. Find a way. I cannot be done at 51. Damn it.
All right, thanks to Steven producing. Braggs will be back tomorrow. Again, huge show tomorrow. Please be there. Don't miss it. Noon. Bears Mock Draft 3.0 dropping tomorrow too. We're gonna have you. We took yesterday off because from this point on through the rest of the week, it's just gonna be loaded with more and more content. Make sure you are a diehard to maximize all that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you tomorrow at noon.